You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. The Royal Conservatory of Music is one of the largest and most respected music education institutions in the world. Countless young musicians have worked their way through the RCM curriculum with curated and crafted repertoire books utilized by music teachers across the continent. In an effort to support educators in Canada and the US as they emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic and to ensure that they have the materials they need to continue their valued work, the RCM is gifting 20,000 teachers the latest edition in their celebration series. And to tell us more about it is RCM President Dr. Peter Simon. Welcome to Winnipeg's Classic 107.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Well, Dr. Simon, I think it's safe to say that many of our listeners will be familiar with the Royal Conservatory of Music. Likely a good number work their way through the RCM levels to varying degrees themselves. But for those who might not have, tell us a little bit more about the RCM.
Well, I'll cut to the quick on this because the unique feature of the Royal Conservatory is that it created a system of study through which one can learn music from the very beginning stages, introductory, all the way through to adults. And this system or curriculum, if you will, is used by 30,000 teachers across Canada and over 400,000 students every year. And it is this infrastructure of teachers and the Royal Conservatory working together that really provide the creative education, the musical education of Canadian children. And it's through this system that people of all kinds, backgrounds, learn music, become familiar, inculcated in music perhaps. And from that group, every once in a while, you'll have someone emerge as a prominent musician. I think Chantal Kreviatsuk is from Winnipeg, for example. She's an alumnus, but there are others: Glenn Gould, Oscar Peterson, Diana Krall, David Foster, Paul Schaefer, etc. So Canada has been very well served by this structure and system, and obviously we want it to remain healthy and vital.
Yeah, like you say, just wide-ranging arts programming, but certainly best known for setting the standard in music education across the country. There's an extraordinary gift. I mean, you mentioned some of the numbers, just how many students and how many teachers are involved with RCM and their programming. Tell us about this very big deal announcement, this extraordinary gift. What inspired gifting 20,000 teachers the latest edition of the Celebration series?
We were aware through our surveys, because we're in contact with teachers quite regularly. We're asking questions all the time. How are things going? We were aware of the impact of COVID on music teaching. I think it's pretty self-evident. A lot of people certainly weren't going into the studios of teachers to have lessons. And I think it became almost a casualty, I think, in family life, where that used to be a part of things. And I think everything in a way came apart during COVID. And I think it's important and essential that this infrastructure that provides the young people of Canada with a path to self-expression and creativity remain healthy and intact. So that was the basis of the decision, because we thought this is probably not a time that teachers can afford the books that we have, the whole series of books that we have, or to take on a new financial commitment. And we wanted to do something to support teachers. I mean, I think it's that simple. We thought, what is the biggest step we could take? And very quickly arrived at the fact that we could provide these books free of charge. I think we're going to probably give away over 400,000 books, something in that range, to stimulate, to re-energize teachers, to get them back, to give them optimism and hope.
I think that's something we all need right now. And like you say, I mean, there is, of course, the incredible work that music teachers do, but there's also a cost that is associated with that. They are small businesses, many of them. And so to alleviate at least a small amount of that financial burden is, I'm sure, immensely appreciated. We're talking about books. And for those who might not be familiar, I think I still have, I know I still have all of mine at my parents' house. But these are repertoire and etude books. Can you tell us about
Yeah.
the celebration series itself?
Yes. So it in all it has 22 volumes, but as I said before, it goes all the way from the very beginner levels, which are levels A and B, all the way to the grade 10 level. The books has hundreds and hundreds of pieces in it, and there's a diversity of these pieces. We cover historical periods, Baroque, classical, romantic, but the 20th century and 21st century are probably more prominent in this series. And there are many, many new pieces in this series that we haven't published before, or in some cases have never been published before. So there's a really rich and diverse array of composers and compositional styles. It's really exciting because it's like a treasure trove of new works that I know students will love playing, and I think teachers will find it exciting as well. So that's probably the feature that stands out most about Celebration Series 6.
I was thinking about my old piano the RCM books and thinking about them and thinking that they're quite dated now. Those are from a few years ago. How often is a new series released? I mean, these are essential resources for music teachers. How often does something like this happen?
Well, the historical precedent is every 7 years, and there are reasons for that. One, of course, after 7 years, I think you like an infusion of new repertoire, that broadens everybody's horizons. But also, it's an issue of copyrights that
Mhm.
um, you secure copyrights for a period of time, and there's a finite limit to that. So it's every 7 years. It seems to work very well. People think that's a good cycle. It's not too short, it's not too long. So this is 7 years.
Now, the last thing I want to ask you, and really the big question here is, you mentioned just how many teachers use this invaluable resource. 20,000 will be gifted copies of the new Celebration Series 6. How have you gone about deciding which teachers will get those copies? I'm sure there are some listening right now going, "Hold on, I would like my complete set now too." How have you gone about deciding that?
Um, well, what I'm going to say is that we've invited everyone who teaches music to come to our website, www.rcmusic.com. And there'll be, when you look on the site, there'll be an announcement about the event um, on the 27th, and that you should go to the live stream and watch the event, because we're going to announce the details of how one gets the books. But I think the heading here is that we want to be helpful, we're going to be generous, and we're here to support teachers.
And I'm sure they appreciate that support. And we, of course, will get all the links up on the Classic 107 website as well.
Excellent. That's
Certainly,
great.
certainly a generous gift to teachers, and a generous gift that is going to benefit countless young musicians. So, Dr. Simon, I certainly appreciate you taking the time to tell us a little bit more about this exciting announcement today.
Well, thank you very much. I'll look forward to seeing you at the event.
Yes, online. Yes, this is
Online.
taking place in Toronto, and we're here in Winnipeg, but certainly something to celebrate. And I was just reading more about the announcement. Some great players: Stuart Goodyear, Jan Lashetsky performing. It is going to be very exciting. Newly commissioned pieces, 73 living composers in the Celebration series, 32 recently composed pieces. It is something to celebrate. So again, Dr. Simon, thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.